I have been on a journey to become the VC method master in the hopes of going from a 60 to 99 overall without spending any money. But there is one VC method by far that is the best in the game, with the possibility of getting 1,000 plus VC in just a few minutes. But I couldn't take full advantage of it until right now. And that, my friends, is doing 3v3 ProAm. And the reason it's taking me so long is because that game mode is a little intimidating for a no money spent player. I mean, the last time I played in there, I was a 75 overall with little to no badges, and my teammates would barely give me the ball. Not to mention, it is the only game mode that requires you to have a squad with no matchmaking. So you could have just bought the game and be in your first match against the #1 team in the nation. It's so intimidating, in fact, that from a 90 to 91 overall, I was playing everything in this game but ProAm. Do you know how scared you have to be to play twos intentionally in this game? I normally wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, but surprisingly, we were actually catching some W's, so it went a little bit better than I thought. And even though it wasn't the best method, it still let me max out my mid-range. I was stalling so hard that I even went back into the wreck, hoping to max out on some VC, getting player of the game. And of course that didn't happen. But at least I maxed out my free throw and put 3 cap breakers on my driving dunk. Still stalling from the ProAm, I got my workout warrior and even tried the new event thinking that it got better from the last time. I was wrong. With my failed luck at getting VC, I guess that means it's time to win the NBA Cup. Yes, sir. All right, enough playing. Maybe now that I'm a 91 overall and have been grinding my ass off, this 3v3 ProAm can become the VC method I always knew it could be, and allow me to take that final mantle of becoming the VC method master. And to prove it, I'm tasking myself with going from a 91 to 95 overall, primarily playing 3v3 ProAm. And if I can get player of the game 5 times in this video, there will be a special surprise for you guys at the end. Might want to watch the whole video. I don't know. Might want to consider it. But before we get into that, man, take a look at that sub count. We are sitting at 45,000 subscribers, meaning we are only 5,000 subscribers away from hitting my end of the year goal of 50,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button, because you guys, plus 4% girls, are my motivation to keep posting every week. So let's get it started. Getting things started, I could have sworn our record was way worse than this, so those 2 losses must have been horrible. But the lineup we're starting with is me on my 6'8 playing PG, Zoomin on Lock, and Josh on his 7'4. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna try to go as meta as possible for it. And this was a great first game to start the journey, with the other team not having an answer for Josh's 7'4, allowing me to rack up 4 assists. But I refused to go home empty-handed, so I did my favorite move in the game and got the ISO bucket to slam it home for the win. I might have gotten carried here, but hey, it's the first game of the day with a long road ahead of us. I gotta ease into it. But already the VC count is looking way better than the last time I was in here. Up next, we got a team that's only lost 3 times, but I swear you couldn't tell in this one at all. In fact, we didn't even let them touch double digits. At this point, I'm thoroughly surprised how well we're doing so far. I'm just hoping sooner rather than later, I start contributing more than I have for my team if I want any chance of getting 5 player of the game. Apparently the competition is just going to get better with every game as we win against a team that only lost twice. And even though I told myself I was going to contribute more for my team, they're going to continue to only have 2 losses on their record. Also, a ton of you have been asking me for the jumper, so here it is. I haven't changed it at all since episode 1, and I haven't had any problems with it. My crew also hit level 23, meaning I get tier 2 max +1, and my +1s are looking elite right now. I'm also running a new lineup with the 6'6 guard and Plasma on his 7'4. I just hope they're elite enough to go against a diamond ranked team who also has a maxed out crew. But you know what? Diamond rank, schmeiman rank, just because these guys have been living in the ProAm doesn't mean you can count us out. Well, let's not act like we didn't see that coming. Maybe we can redeem ourselves against a team that's only played 2 games. And of course, to make it better, both teams had the same damn colors on. But maybe this sensory overload is what I needed to finally come out of my shell and show that I deserve to be player of the game. These guys were definitely not going to let this game be easy, and with Plasma getting this dunk to tie the game at 19, on defense, I didn't trust my guy to hit the game winner, so I pulled his whole card and he choked in the clutch. And on the other end, we're going to find Plasma Plasma wide open in the corner, and that's gonna be a dub. But the real question is, was this enough to get player of the game? Of course not. But at least we're showing signs of improvement. The next game might be the first team we've come across with a negative record, but in 2K, you really cannot judge a book by its cover. Lucky for me, the confidence I was feeling from the last game carried over into this one. Those cap breakers are really showing out, and don't think just because I've turned into run and dunk man, I can't hit a jumper. This game was really close all the way to the end, but man, I could really taste that player of the game. All we had to do was finish it out. But unfortunately, my team has never been taught how to do a proper rotation apparently, leaving the guy at the top of the key wide open, and that just killed my first player of the game of the video. After a devastating loss, you want to know what I was praying not to see in the next one? Another damn diamond ranked team. But don't worry, they took care of us nice and quick to not make the pain feel as bad. We need to start turning stuff around because this record is inching towards looking like crap. And luckily in the next one, we understood the assignment and capitalized on it too, finally getting us back on the winning end. Hopefully this means the start of a high win streak. Me and my big mouth. But with the VC I've accumulated, I'm gonna max out my speed to an 85, and maybe speed was all I needed in my life because this game I had an absolute takeover on the offensive end. I don't think these guys had a true center on their team, leaving the paint wide open on nearly every possession. Now somehow, even though it felt like we were the ones giving BTA, they found a way to keep this game closed. And without a Josh in sight, it was my time to show that I can clutch up for the team and put the game away. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the first player of the game of the video, meaning I only need to get it 4 more times. And oh boy, does that VC count look amazing. You want to know how 2K decided to reward me for an all-star level performance? By putting me up against a platinum ranked team. Thanks 2K. But as you guys saw by that record, they were all bark and no bite. And I truly don't know how a team so trash could be considered platinum ranked, but we're gonna walk away with the win, and there are no complaints on my end. Oh my god, how many times am I gonna see this exact logo today? I'm damn near making it my mission to take down anyone with that picture for a team logo, because there is no way all of y'all have the exact same idea. And even though this team was gold ranked, my anger from seeing that same logo carried us into the win column. Next up, we're going against some 15-year-olds who need their ass whooped. So in true Unk fashion, I had to show these guys the old school style of basketball, putting my foot in the rim any chance I got. And Plasma is going to end this game off killing any chances these guys have. I'm also not really an Unk, I'm only 22, but I digress. We got another mid team, or so I thought, because we were actually down to start this one off, but through sheer willpower, we clawed our way back into it. Unfortunately, my ankles didn't want to finish this game off, allowing them to tie it up at 19. But my boy Hectic is gonna find some open space and dunk it home for the win. You know, I preach heavy about keeping that mental health in check, and that means switching things up every now and then to not burn out, which is why I went to play a My Career game real quick. And with 6K in the bank, I'm gonna put my standing dunk to a 40 to finally get some of these animations, and now I'm a 92 overall. That last game got our record looking really nice, so let's hope we can keep this ball rolling. You know what? That just might be enough gaming for the day.
Hey, wake up. Hey!
A new day means a fresh lineup, bringing back Josh and Zoomin, so hopefully we can finally start streaking up in here. And boy, this lineup just has a different feel. Maybe because I'm running the point, or maybe Josh is back. Either way, I was feeling good about this one. Okay, yeah, I gotta start like knocking on wood before I talk, because it's basically a curse at this point. But apparently I'm cursed in reverse, because after that L, we turned into the 2016 Warriors and went on a tear. I played a lot of 3v3 ProAm, but I've never gone on a streak like this. Unfortunately, most of the wins we got were because Josh was putting the whole squad on his back, which is great, except the video is supposed to prove that I'm a valuable player, not Josh. And so far, I've only gotten one player of the game. And like I've said in past episodes, I'd rather win than chuck up nonsense shots, but man, it has to be my time soon, right? Well, it turns out next game I was matched up with the guard who couldn't play a lick of defense to save his my player's life. Bro was sliding around like he had butter on his controller, so I blew past him every play. And yeah, some of my plays this game looked a little selfish, but hey, if the scoreboard says I'm eating, I don't feel bad. And I got my second player of the game. Feels good, man. And looking at the bag I stacked up, I'm sitting with almost 15 15,000 VC, and I decided to cash it out on defensive rebound, and now I am officially a 93 overall. After hours of nothing but pro-am, I was starting to see the threes chords in my sleep. So from 93 to 94 overall, I decided to go back to the rec to chase another player of the game. Same payout, but just a new scenery. At first, it looked promising. I was bullying my way into the paint, snagging player of the half, but second half me straight up disappeared like I had curfew. Still played decent, just not enough for player of the game. That became the theme for the next couple games too. Solid performances, just no crown. Then we got that game. I started off with back-to-back threes, and from that point on, it was like the defense just gave up. The paint was wide open, I was getting easy buckets, and I snagged player of the half again. But this time, I didn't choke it away. I kept my foot on the gas and ended up with 25 points and 9 assists, getting that player of the game secured. That's 3 on the day and all the confidence I needed to go back into the pro-am. My VC went straight into close shot, and now I am a 94 overall. Time to lock in 1 more overall and 3 more player of the games to get. And step 1, new drip. We pulled out the custom black jerseys and instantly felt the energy difference. The lineup was me at the guard, Peter on his 7'4", and honestly, those jerseys made me feel unstoppable. The first game in them, I grabbed my 3rd player of the game and over 1,000 VC. But since I'm one of 2K's biggest soldiers, of course 2K's response was to throw us against a platinum ranked team next. Yeah, thanks Ronnie, I really appreciate that. Thankfully, the next matchup was against a team that looked like they accidentally pressed the queue up. I had to greenlight the whole game, and this ISO move to end it sealed player of the game number 4. All I needed was 1 more. Next up, we faced a squad that has only lost 4 games, and it showed. They were cooking us early, but little by little, we clawed back into it, tying it at 19. All we needed was 1 stop, but our defense had other plans. Bad rotations left the dude wide open, and he drilled the dagger 3. Pain. So to break the curse, I went into the lab and dropped a new court design. First game on it, I went federal. Dunk after dunk after dunk. I could have scored every point if I wanted to, but hey, I shared the ball this time, and still, it was more than enough for player of the game number 5. And that means the surprise I promised is unlocked. And a lot of you have been saying that you can't even afford to get 2K26, so I'm giving away a free copy on PlayStation or Xbox. All you gotta do is make sure you're subscribed and drop a comment telling me your favorite 2K and why, and I'll pick a winner in the last episode of the series. With the giveaway locked in, it was officially time to hit 95 overall. And boy, did we get the easiest matchup of the day. These guys had the ugliest court I've ever seen in my life, and out of respect for my eyes, we ended that game as quick as possible. Next game, I was in full takeover mode, scoring at will, and oh look, another player of the game. That's 6 total. And at this point, I can finally say I've conquered 3v3 Pro-Am for the 2nd year in a row, meaning that I am now the master of all VC method, unless I missed one, but you guys can let me know in the comments if I did. But Pro-Am is easily the best VC method in the game. Street Breakers is still up there too, but you waste so much time in the park waiting on games and spinning the block when you lose. At least in Pro-Am, you'll face sweat sometimes, but you'll also catch some random little Timmies who have no business being on the court, and you can just keep playing it over and over and over again without having to wait very long. And now sitting with 15,000 VC, I maxed out my close shot and officially hit 95 overall. And with 1 episode left in the series, I need y'all to go crazy for me. Let's hit 1.5k likes if you want to see the finale. Guys, we are officially in the end game with me only needing 4 more overalls to hit 99. And it's time to take every VC method that I've learned thus far and put them into action. Doing whatever I can to make as much VC as possible and finally put this series to rest. And the first thing we're going to do as a 95 overall is take our ass right back to that 3v3 Pro-Am court. Even though the runs were magnificent, I told myself I wanted to at least finish 1 season of my career before the season ended, so I hopped in there to get my final set of key games, playing the first one against the Lakers and getting 1100 VC for that game. But I cannot lie, it only takes 1 game of my career for the fatigue to hit me like a bag of bricks, so me and Josh went into the park in the hopes of running up some quick VC with streak hunting. Unfortunately, we have never ran with this guy, and on top of that, we severely underestimated our opponents. Even though we lost, you guys should know by now, we're not ones to back down from a challenge, even though the possibility of winning looks bleak. We still ended up losing, but we left with our dignity still intact. With Street Breakers not looking like the move right now, maybe the 1v1 court in the theater could be my piece. I was wrong, but there is one mode that has yet to let me down long term, and that is the wreck. I don't know what it is about the wreck this year, but sometimes I feel like I could stay in here all day. Hell, I even have a 70 win percentage in here. But this will occupy a good chunk of my playtime right now, earning a decent chunk of change to go along with it. And my crew is up to level 24, and I just found out that you have all year to get your crew level to 30, so I was pretty much rushing for no reason. And if you watch when I tested every way to make VC in 2K26, you know that I said I would never go back to the proving grounds, but now that I am a 95 overall, things might have changed in here. I was wrong. So yeah, that's gonna be enough of that mode for the remainder of this series, but after playing an open runs game, taking a look at the wallet, we ran up a nice little stack of change, and I'm gonna put all that towards my interior defense, and that's gonna get me to a 96 overall. Through all my vids, one game mode that really doesn't get a lot of shine from me is playing on the twos courts. For me, the twos are where 99% of the cheese of 2K takes place, so I never really interacted with them, but in the theater, at least with my boy Peter, it hasn't been looking too bad. In fact, it's looking pretty damn good considering we are taking win after win in here. And from playing all those games, I was able to hit level 35 on the season pass, getting a max +2 badge perk. And now looking at my badge perks, these have really transformed my build into something special. I really like the way things are moving right now, and even though I haven't been putting them in the vids, I have been doing the daily spin every day, and I just watched a Zach2K video where he got 250,000 from the wheel, so I just know it's paying out right now. I was wrong. Well, back to that mode that can do no wrong in my eyes. Things were going well for me in this red game, but it actually came down to the last possession of the game, with us down 1 point with 1.5 seconds left in the clock. Inbounding the ball to our leading scorer at the top of the key to seal the game. Bah! Ah, damn. Well, that's 25 minutes of my life I will never get back. But I refuse to end my rec runs on a loss, mostly because it's my happy place. And this game was a complete 360 from that last one, with us winning by 34 points, and my peace and tranquility has been restored. Of course, we had to run another one back. I mean, it's only right. The series in here is tied 1-1, and we gotta come out on top. And in smooth fashion, that's exactly what we did. And this game is even going to max out my points, meaning that I do not have any more restrictions for hitting that 99 overall, you know, besides the VC amount in my wallet. But to get to 99 overall, I'm gonna need 30,000 VC, which isn't a small number by any means, but if I keep it up at this rate, I shouldn't have a problem seeing that 99 overall fast. I would go on to pretty much live in the wreck for the rest of my night because we just could not lose in here. And in the last one before I got off the game, I even got player of the game, so you know when 2K really messes with me, I can really look like a top 1% player on this game. And with 11,000 in the bank, I'm gonna max out my interior defense, and that's going to unlock Bronze Paint Patrol. One of my casual subs wanted to run a game with me, so why not take him to the Street Breaker with me and Josh? Although we were just here not too long ago, maybe that upgrade to my interior D can give us that help that we were looking for. Or so I thought, because what we actually needed was better perimeter defense. With this team shooting the lights out and shooting any chance we had of taking a win. We didn't want to give up here though, but we didn't feel like spending the block on these guys, so we ended up finding a 5K VC court with our name on it. And for a split moment here, it really felt like we had a chance to take this win streak down. I was even able to get us up 20-19, with the last thing we needed to do was make sure they don't hit a 3. Motherfucker. You know, I am not feeling so happy about playing 2K right now, so hopefully my happy place in the wreck can rejuvenate my will to keep playing this game. It did not. That's what I get for running rec without Josh on the team. I mean, I was pretty much asking to lose that one. I gotta give rec a fair chance here and can't write it off just like that. And in this new one, I was hooping for real. But I don't know what it is about rec games coming down to the last shot right now. And I don't know what it is about my team shitting the bed when it comes to defensive rotations, but I'm gonna take a little break from 2K.
6.5 hours later.
Alright, hopefully I can muster the strength to keep this challenge flowing with me heading back to the 3v3 Pro-Am. And at least they gave me an easy one to start it off with. I'm even trying to bring back my patented hop step dunk. But we were in here for a while, and this might be one of the longest win streaks I've ever had playing 3v3 Pro-Am. So I don't know who is out here making the matchups for Pro-Am, but all I gotta say is thank you. With 6K in the pocket, I'm gonna put that towards my skill rating, and that's gonna get me to a 97 overall. I can almost smell the 99. And as you guys saw, Josh had to leave, and I'm not ready to enter back into the rec society yet, so that means it's time to play a couple of my career key games. But that's about all the my career I can take right now, and I really want to go back to the Pro-Am, but someone must have overheard me talking about how well I was doing in here, because we got matched up with some pomp, leaving me to cry in the corner because I thought I could stay in here till the end of the series, but I guess I was wrong. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see me rejoining the rec anytime soon, and I want to make some quick VC, so that means it's time to do some more streak hunting, this time with my boy Plasma. And we found a healthy 2500 court to play on, and in this game it really felt like we were going to run away with it, and this was by far my best performance playing Street Breaker, with me having damn near every point for my team. And before y'all start flaming Plasma for this last play, he did end up lagging out of the game towards the end, so when his guy decided to help all the way over, leaving his guy wide open in the corner to hit the game-winning shot, it wasn't his fault, but still heartbreaking nonetheless. And because Plasma's PS5 decided to give up on him, I had the crazy idea of trying Street Breakers on the 2s court with Josh. How can I call myself the master of all VC methods if I'm too scared to try the 2s courts out? And to make things even better, we are also playing the MVP of the park. And getting into it, like I said, I never really play on the 2s court, but I never imagined that I would go against an actual Zenner. Now, I haven't come across too many guys who I feel suspicious of, but you can't look at this footage and tell me this guy is playing legitimately. I mean, you guys can let me know in the comments if I'm bugging, but it doesn't feel right to me, and I was ready to just call this game an L and keep my day moving, but the big ended up stepping out of bounds, giving us a chance on the offensive end, and we saw this as an opportunity of a lifetime. Not only was this court worth 5,000 VC, but with him also being the park MVP, you're supposed to get 5 times VC, so in our head at the time, it really looked like this game was worth 25,000 VC, and with that much on the line, there is no way we could give that ball up. And even when Josh missed his jumper, this play right here shows why it is imperative for your guard to have at least a little rebounding. And my Hall of Fame finishing badges are really putting in work. You can tell these guys have probably never had to play defense during this streak, since the guard literally is not allowed to miss. And this game meant so much more than the VC on the line. If I won this game, it was for every no money spin player out there who would never dream of stepping on the 2s courts against the MVP of the park, let alone a Zenner. And with 1 bucket left to seal the game, I'm going to drop it off to Josh, and he's going to bang it for the win. Let's fucking go. And that was probably the best game of this entire 60 to 99 series, with me even getting player of the game. And something we wouldn't find out until this moment, but that 5 times VC doesn't actually apply to the Streak Breaker, so there is no 25,000 VC, but 6.9k still helps out a lot nonetheless. I'm definitely not going to be stepping back on the 2s court anytime soon, but that gave me the confidence to keep it pushing in here, and I guess Plasma fixed his PS5, so back to the 3s court we go. And this one also came down to the final possession, but I'm going to lay it in to finish the game off, and that's going to be 2.8k added to the wallet. And with me only needing 6,000 VC to hit 99 overall, I wanted to get this done as quick as possible, but I still wanted to end my season in my career before I hit it. So after getting my daily VC from doing the daily quest and the open runs, Gatorade facility, and even Street Kings, I'm back in the Bucks uniform. But this time I actually decided to do the All-Star Weekend, playing the 3-point contest, and I couldn't tell you the last time I played in here, probably 2K13 if I remember correctly, but I'm going to take the win with ease. I'm even in the dunk contest this year, and the last time I played a dunk contest for 2K was when it felt like a Guitar Hero simulator. But I messed with how they did it this year, even though I don't think I could have lost even if I tried. But it was time to play the last 2 key games of the season, and we got through those with a breeze. And to end off the regular season, I won the NBA MVP in my first year, and of course taking home Rookie of the Year. On top of that, I even hit level 40 for the first time ever, earning myself another cap breaker. And ladies and gentlemen, with 27,000 VC in the bank, the month-long series is finally coming to an end. Maxing out my steal to a 60 and my post control to a 51. And with a total of 117 hours played in NBA 2K26, I have now officially gone from 60 to 99 overall without spending money. And I couldn't have done it without all the support from you guys along the way. So if you got any, and I mean any enjoyment from this series whatsoever, please leave a like on the video. And if you have been here since the very first episode, make sure you comment OG down below in the comments. And until the next series, I'll see you guys later.